In this video, we are going to answer one of the most important questions that you're probably also asking yourself when considering to go on a campervan holiday in a small campervan.
Yep, and the question is, where do we actually poop and shower? It's a very, very big question. So we will talk about how to do this in places like North America, Europe, and the Pacifics. As well, at the end of the video, we will tell you where it's actually required to have a toilet, even if you have a small campervan. Is that even possible? So stick around if you want to find out. Hey, I'm Jen.
And Yvonne.
Welcome to Road Trip Explorers, where we provide hacks, tips, and guides to help you plan your next campervan vacation. So, the big question, where do you take care of your business when nature calls?
It's pretty simple. It's a lot easier than what you might think. And it kind of depends a little bit on the country that you're going to. But the general, overall, easiest place to do that is on a campground. Campgrounds are an excellent area to do your business, big or small, and even shower. You might not stay all nights at a campground, but most of your nights, at least we like to spend at campgrounds, also because of the atmosphere that they allow you to have.
Yeah, most campgrounds, all campgrounds have toilets, but most of them, not all of them, have showers. So that's definitely a place where you can take care of your business and stuff. But what about if you're like on the road, right? Like obviously you're not all the time in a campground. So let's talk about different places. Let's start with North America.
Let's start with North America, all right. So North America, when we talk about that area, we are focusing on the western parts, like western USA, southwest California, and also western Canada, like British Columbia, Alberta, where all those amazing national parks are. And that is the keyword. National parks, even state parks or provincial parks have bathrooms at the entrance gate. And that is the best moment to actually take that little break, jump in there and get out before you start hiking.
Yeah, totally. Where else? Obviously, you can stop at rest stops, right? Gas stations usually have also toilets that you can use. That pretty much covers.
Big supermarkets,
big
especially
supermarkets
in North America. Walmarts, they have toilets. And so whenever you fill up your groceries, your fridge, whatever you need, just also, remember to use that little moment to release some pressure.
Yeah. Oh, not only Walmart, right? Like any pretty much big supermarket. What's the super nice one? Like Whole Foods. Whole Foods also has restrooms. Safeways, anywhere, right? What about like Europe? What's the most popular maybe place? Iceland, right?
Well, to campervan, yes, but also continental Europe, yeah.
And again, pretty much the same rule. Rest stops is pretty much the main part, but what if you're in countryside roads, you don't really have rest stops, right?
So Iceland is a particular one here because every little village, no matter how big it is, has a public pool. And it's not expensive to get a day pass or a pass for a few hours. Go in there, take that beautiful shower, use the bathroom, especially when free camping, because Iceland is one of those countries where free camping is just so inviting.
Yeah, exactly. Where else? Ooh, Japan. Japan, believe it or not, you can campervan in Japan. They have these super tiny, cute little campervans that you can rent out, right? And again, I heard there are these places called
Michi no Eki
that you can also pull aside. They're pretty much like glorified, I would say, rest stops. So they have even like a supermarket there, restrooms, showers as well. So you can totally take care of that. And a very interesting fact, you can also sleep there.
Yep, 24-hour free parking.
Yeah, for free. And it doesn't matter if you're in a campervan. So that's pretty cool.
So let's move to the southern hemisphere, Australia and New Zealand, paradises for campervanning. And we were super impressed, even more so than in Japan, which, are known to have the fanciest toilets in the world. But Australia and New Zealand, the sheer amount of public toilets and their cleanliness. Literally driving, stopping, just to take a snapshot of that beach, just to sit on a bench in a park, anywhere that you can imagine, there is a public toilet, open, free of charge, and it's clean, and it's got paper. Yeah. So in those two countries, you really don't have to worry. You will always find a place. Yeah.
And what happens, right, if then you don't see any rest stop, there are no public toilets? Is it okay to actually use nature as your bathroom, let's say it? What do you think?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So there are some rules that you should follow, right? We love this, like, how do you call it? Like principles are called leave no trace principles, which pretty much mean leave a place as it was or even better than when you first found it. There are a few rules that you should follow if you want to use nature as your bathroom, right? Just to leave it not harmed when you use it. So,
and also not just the place not harmed, but any surrounding area. So when using nature as a bathroom, regardless whether you want to pee or poo, it's super important to don't attract any other people to use the same spot. Basically, wherever, whether it's a trail or it's at a campsite off the grid without a bathroom, or just as a rest stop, take 80 steps away from waterways, campsites, or trails, and find a spot there to do your business. Don't leave paper. I mean, have like a little Ziploc bag where you can put it in.
Yep.
And don't let other people find your spot. The purpose is a one-time pee nature can endure, but 10 pees on the same spot, that will definitely leave a trace.
Yeah, totally. And what about if you really have to poo? It's also fine. A lot of people actually have these super small shovels, right? If you don't have one, you might, again, need to get your hands dirty and do it. And you have to dig a hole that is roughly between 15 and 20 centimeters.
6 to 8 inches?
Yeah. Wait, I have my Kindle here, so that's pretty much kind of the size of a Kindle, really. Like it's a little bit deep. But this is called a cat hole, and you need to dig this up. And then there's
Aim good.
Aim good, right? There's even a method that you can hug a tree to use it as support, and then do your business there. Obviously, there you need to cover the cat hole. And good point. Why do we even need to bury our poo and not our pee?
Very important. Whenever there's rain, poo easily gets washed away, and even if you are 80 steps away, it can still be washed into waterways, and that, of course, then again leaves a trace and affects maybe even the drinking water.
So why even go through the whole trouble of renting a small camper van, right? If it's a bit complicated to take care of your business.
It's not complicated.
Well, no, but it's a little bit. It's not like you have a bathroom in the back of your van, right?
It's even more complicated to take care of that bathroom.
That is very true, right? Because imagine, right? Like you use that bathroom in your car. Obviously, it's kind of disgusting things. Yeah, it needs to be treated, and you still need to take care of that every 2 to 3 days, I think, maximum. Even if you put chemicals in that toilet, you need to pump that out. So yeah, it's actually better. So what are the advantages of a small little camper van?
The size, yeah. The size, you're quicker and more flexible to move around. You can use normal streets, normal parking spots. That's like, for me, one of the biggest advantages. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's cheaper. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about vancations, right? So we're renting a camper van for a holiday. You're not talking about buying one and living in it.
Yeah. Not yet, anyways.
Yeah. So starting with the rental price, it is most often not half of the price than of a bigger motorhome RV that has an installed toilet. Gas consumption is a lot cheaper. Also, campground sites are a lot cheaper because you're needing less space, no electricity. So it sums up to a really, really big chunk why you should consider having one without a toilet.
Yeah, if you're still like on the fence, what kind of camper van or RV in general should you rent? We will link it in the description below and a card here somewhere from our video that actually helps you decide which RV to rent for your next camper van holiday.
Yeah.
Cool. So as promised, right? Like, where do you need to have a toilet?
There's this one exception where even we will most definitely consider having a camper van, a small camper van with a toilet in it. And as we also learned, it does not always have to be fixed.
Yeah, and this is in New Zealand. Especially if you want a free camp. It's by law that the camper vans need to be self-contained. Self-contained means, actually you're better at this definition than me.
Self-contained basically means you need to be able to take care of yourself and your belongings for, let's say, 2 to 3 days. That being said, you need to have a few things inside of your camper van. A sink, with that comes a gray water tank of the used water of your sink. A toilet, it does not need to be fixed, it just needs to be able to be used while the van is closed, and that produces black water, so a black water tank. An evacuation hose to clean both without having any drops contaminate the surface. And of course, a bin, a sealable bin. It actually can't just be like a trash bag. It needs to be able to be sealed.
So bin meaning trash, yeah, pretty much, right? Yeah.
New Zealand is one of the countries where you should consider free camping. Even if you love campgrounds just like we do, free camping in New Zealand is just like free camping in Iceland. It's this wonderful nature, even more than in other places. And you can be way closer to the main attractions, natural attractions, than on a campground. So pretty sure that if you plan 2 or 3 weeks in New Zealand, you will have, a few nights to free camp.
Yeah, so make sure to rent that self-contained camper van. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about campervanning in general or road trip in general. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We promise we will read them and we will create content to answer those questions for you. Yeah, so until then, keep on campervanning. Fist bump!